Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the biggest truths, they aren't always where you expect them, maybe hidden in plain sight or from uh, really unusual sources?
Exactly. Or, maybe they come from someone with a truly unique perspective.
Like, say, a Russian cosmonaut. That's what we're diving into today, an absolutely extraordinary testimony.
That's right. And our mission here really is to unpack these incredible claims regarding extraterrestrial encounters, yeah.
Yeah, and strange energy sources, craft refueling and storms.
Advanced communication, maybe through crop circles and even these prophecies about the solar system.
So we want to guide you, our listener, through all these surprising details. These insights let you weigh the implications yourself.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, the cosmonaut's own experience.
Right. Seeing these, well, they call them balls of light out there in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter.
Imagine seeing that. And then imagine trying to tell people, get them to believe you.
Must have been incredibly difficult. The source makes it clear, yeah, it was tough going until,
Until ufology started gaining some ground, right?
Well,
Provided maybe a context, a bit of validation.
exactly, a framework.
Yeah.
But then things get even more concrete. There's independent video evidence.
Ah, yes. From this Martin stops, he apparently pointed a TV dish, like directly at the shuttle feeds going to Houston.
And he captured something.
Oh, yeah. The STS-63 video feed. It was infrared, black and white, showed over 100 objects just disappearing off radar.
100, and they were causing problems.
Big problems. They actually prevented the shuttle from finding the Mir space station at the time.
Wow. And the crucial link here is...
The cosmonaut apparently said, those are the same kind of craft I saw. And not just random, but in an intelligent formation.
An intelligent formation, that's a specific claim.
It really is. And leads right into this core idea from the cosmonaut. We are never alone. The evidence is all there. They're keeping this secret.
Okay, so if these craft are real and organized, what are they doing? How do they operate?
Well, the theory presented is pretty wild. It suggests over 200 objects gather above storms.
During thunderstorms, why?
To charge from the released energy from the thunderbolts. Like they're refueling.
Refueling from lightning.
Yeah, the analogy uses they're refueling their propulsion with this organ energy discharged by the thunderbolts.
Organ energy. Okay, that's a term you sometimes hear in like alternative energy circles, right? Like Reich's organ.
Exactly, that kind of concept. A universal life force, maybe, being harnessed. And the source claims this activity, this energy harvesting, led to contact.
Direct contact with ETs.
Yes. And importantly, not all friendly. Some contacts were positive and beautiful, but others extremely aggressive.
Aggressive how?
Including, apparently, a conflict with something called the Gray Collective.
Ah, the Greys. That's a common image in ufology, isn't it? Often linked to less positive encounters.
Precisely. So the testimony reinforces this idea of polarity. Both positive and both negative presences out there.
And after going through all that, seeing the lights, the evidence, the contact,
the cosmonaut felt this mission, basically, to share this knowledge, help other people understand.
which leads us, surprisingly, not back to space, but to fields. Crop circle.
Yeah, it's quite a shift. The focus became decoding crop circles. The belief being they contain actual information, stuff leading to technological achievements.
And those balls of light, again?
They're part of this too. Orbs seen around crop circle sites, apparently intelligent, following me all the time, the cosmonaut reportedly said.
So, okay, the million-dollar question. Who's making the genuine ones and why?
According to the source, at least few extraterrestrial races. And the why is pretty direct to inform us because, allegedly, our governments are deceiving us.
Deceiving us about what? Big things.
Huge things. The real situation of the planet, the galaxy, even what we really are and what our potentials are.
That's quite a claim. And the scale of this communication.
Massive. The source mentions more than 20,000 diagrams delivered globally over recent decades.
20,000. Wow. And how are they supposedly being made? Not just guys with ropes and boards then.
Definitely not, according to this. They're said to originate from many dimensions, using portals to enter ours, using microwave energy or electromagnetic energy.
Okay, portals, microwave energy. It sounds like science fiction, but the source tries to back this up.
It does. It points to the military being highly, highly interested, picking up these lights, these craft, on radar.
Interested how? Just watching.
More than watching, allegedly scrambling jets, helicopters to intercept them, to try and stop the information getting out.
Stop the information. Why?
Because it's seen as Very, very vital for humanity. And here's the twist the source highlights.
Go on.
If these lights or craft were secret government tech, why would the military spend money on fuel to chase its own property?
Huh. Yeah, that doesn't quite add up, does it? It's a direct challenge to the simple hoax explanation.
Exactly. The source draws a sharp line between genuine communication and man-made fakes. It even claims a faction called the shallow government wanted to communicate.
With the ETs making the circles.
Yeah, but the ETs apparently weren't playing ball. Saw them as very, very deceivers.
So the government then tried, what? Bugging the crop circles.
Sort of. The claim is they placed obelisks as receivers to try and capture the data when these objects popped into our dimension.
This is intricate stuff. And what about mainstream explanations? Media coverage.
The source is pretty critical there. Mentions channels like Discovery, National Geographic, alleging they bury or ridicule the phenomenon, portrayed all as man-made.
Well, the military is supposedly taking it very seriously behind the scenes.
That's the stark contrast presented, yeah. A kind of public deception versus covert interest.
So, if there's this mix of real and fake, how does the source say we can tell the difference?
Well, the fakes are described as just a mess. Footsteps everywhere, crop is completely destroyed, information removed, not encoded.
They even name-check that group. Team Satan in New Zealand. The known hoaxers.
Yeah, as a clear example of what the genuine ones are not.
Okay, so what are the genuine ones like? What's the evidence?
This is where it gets really interesting scientifically. There's work cited from a Dr. Elto Hausinghoff back in 2000.
And he found?
Thermal expansion and node latening. Basically, the plant stems are bent, often at the nodes, but not broken. They're still alive, still growing.
Node latening. The joints in the stem get stretched.
Exactly. And it's strongest in the center of the circle, fading towards the edges, which, fascinatingly, matches the pattern of electromagnetic radiation distribution from a point source.
Like something hovered there and emitted energy.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
Plus, evidence the plants were hit with extreme high temperatures, but also cooled incredibly fast, like in a split second.
Whoa! And there was something else too. Metallic spheres?
Yes, tiny ones. 10 to 40 micron diameter, pure iron spheres, found in the soil. Apparently impossible to find in hoaxed circles made with simple tools.
Pure iron spheres, that's specific and hard to explain away with planks and ropes.
Very hard. These scientific anomalies are presented as strong indicators of a non-conventional, possibly non-human origin.
Okay, so we've gone from space sightings to energy harvesting to these incredibly detailed crop circles. Where does the narrative go next?
It goes bigger, much bigger, galactic. A cosmic message was apparently received.
Another message. What did this one say?
Essentially, search. There is something extraordinary happening in the Milky Way galaxy, and search for Power L.
Power L again. Still ambiguous.
Still a bit ambiguous in the source material, yeah. Maybe location, maybe an energy signature. But then comes this other bit of info, supposedly from the ETs.
What's that?
Our Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah.
They claim it actually has 7 spiral arms.
7. I thought we observed, what, 2 major ones and some spurs?
That's our current understanding, yeah. From our vantage point, this suggests a different perspective entirely.
Okay, and this connects to other imagery sometimes seen, like the all-seeing eye.
It does. But the source clarifies that image isn't about good or evil. It's neither positive, neither negative. It's simply energy.
Just raw energy.
And there's a linguistic connection made too. A German professor, Kurt Schulman, supposedly translated related symbols back to ancient Sanskrit.
And the meaning.
Literally, the son of the creator comes.
Wow. Okay. So the eye in space is seen as a gateway.
A gate, yeah, from which something's coming. And this gate is identified pretty clearly.
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius A, the supermassive black hole right at the center of our galaxy.
Right. So what's coming from Sagittarius A?
Think galactic core explosions. The source describes a hole and explosion phenomenon. You get a cosmic jet shooting out perpendicular to the galaxy, and also a wave of energy spreading out along the galactic plane, like ripples in a pond when you throw in a rock.
A wave spreading through the whole galaxy.
That's the assertion. There is a wave, and the wave is coming from the galactic center.
Even imagery sometimes seen, like birds in 2 direction, is said to represent this energy spreading out along the galactic plane.
And this wave, is it significant? Powerful. Extremely. Described as extreme, massive, flying fast. And the prediction is, it's going to hit the sun.
Hit our sun, what happens then?
The claim is, it fundamentally changes how the sun is spending its fuel. It knocks it off its stable main sequence.
And pushes it into
a red giant phase. much, much sooner than standard models predict.
That's a civilization-level event, potentially. There's
That's-
more detail, a timeline?
There is. It links to a specific pictogram, a crop circle, that appeared July 15th, 2008,
What did it show?
described as obvious a solar system. It apparently matched ours perfectly, planets, even a dot for our moon, a ring for Saturn.
And again, presumably showing those signs of non-man-made origin.
Yeah, anomaly was found, and the crop is not destroyed by the mechanical force. Same characteristics. And this apparently coincided with amazing blue display seen from the ISS.
Okay, so this solar system picture,
Yeah.
did it point to a date?
The messages around this time had a strong reference to 23rd of December, 2012.
2012. That date resonates, obviously.
Definitely. And just a week after that solar system pictogram, July 22nd, 2008, another one appeared. Described as a Rosetta Stone for understanding what was predicted for late 2012, early 2013.
A Rosetta Stone, so it gave specifics.
Very specific predictions. According to the source, our sun would become bigger, Mercury and Venus would be swollen, Earth and Mars would get dangerously close.
Whoa. Swollen planets, closer orbits?
That's the claim. And also, an object would appear very close to our solar system, coming from the direction of the Virgo constellation.
An unknown object. And was there a predicted date for seeing it?
Yes. Astronomical charts, the source states, indicated it would become visible from December 13th, 2012, which happened to be a new moon.
Okay, that's incredibly precise. Any other symbols involved?
Quite a few. The Milky Way was depicted, showing the galactic plane. There was a cosmic snake or kundalini, maybe representing a nexus point. A snail spiral, the new moon symbol, and two stars shown close to the sun at that time.
It's a complex tapestry of symbols and predictions, all pointing to that 2012 window and a massive solar change.
Exactly. Now, it's important to pause here. The idea of a sun changing size,
Isn't completely out of left field, scientifically speaking, right?
not at all. It's definitely possible. It's part of the standard life cycle of a star like ours.
Our sun being a yellow dwarf and A star.
Correct. Born from gas and dust, burns hydrogen for billions of years. But eventually, that fuel runs low.
And then it expands. That's the red giant phase.
Right. The outer layers cool, swell outwards, look reddish, the core contracts. Eventually, those outer layers drift off as a planetary nebula, leaving a tiny, hot, white dwarf behind.
And that's different from really massive stars.
Yeah, much bigger stars become red supergiants, then explode violently as supernovae. They can end up as neutron stars or even small black holes.
So the mechanism of a star expanding is real. The Cosmonaut's source is suggesting this galactic wave is just hitting the fast-forward button for our sun.
That seems to be the core of the prophecy, yes. An external trigger accelerating a natural but usually much slower process.
Wow. Okay, so what does all of this mean for us? We've covered a truly incredible scope in this deep dive.
Absolutely. From, a cosmonaut's personal sightings, these claims of intelligent craft harvesting storm energy.
Through to incredibly complex messages supposedly encoded in crop circles warning us about government deception.
And culminating in these prophecies of galactic energy waves fundamentally changing our own sun, tied to specific dates and astronomical events. It's a lot.
It really is. This deep dive into the cosmonaut's testimony, it really forces you to consider the implications, doesn't it? Receiving such, frankly, world-altering information through such unconventional means.
Yeah, why these methods? Why these warnings? If the source is to be believed, why is it so vital for us, for humanity, to grasp these messages? Especially against a backdrop of alleged deception.
It leaves you with a pretty profound question, I think. Given all these claims, intelligent formations, energy harvesting, detailed cosmic warnings, what could possibly be the ultimate purpose behind this extraordinary flow of information? And, what might it really tell us about our actual place in what seems to be a much larger and far more complex universe than we generally imagine?